Have you ever stopped to think about the invisible stuff that has to work perfectly for their digital life to, well, work? I mean, from streaming a movie to just sending an email, there's this hidden architecture that we all totally depend on. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that invisible web and see what makes it all tick.
Okay, so picture this. You've spent like an hour online hunting for the perfect gift. It's finally in your cart, you've punched in all your details, you are ready to go. You take a deep breath and you click that beautiful Buy Now button. And nothing. The little loading wheel just spins and spins. Then, boom, an error message. The whole site is just gone. Now, for you, that's super frustrating. But for the business on the other end, that's a potential catastrophe. So what on earth just happened? And more importantly, how could it have been prevented? Well, what you just experienced is what's known in the industry as a single point of failure. It's that heart-stopping moment when a company realizes they bet their entire business, all their data, all their sales, on one single system. And when that one system goes down, the entire operation just grinds to a halt. But what if you could build a kind of digital safety net? What if you could design your online presence to be so resilient that it basically never fails? Well, guess what? You can. And it's a strategy that the biggest names on the internet rely on every single second of every day. It's called multi-cloud architecture. Now that sounds super technical, I know, but the idea is actually incredibly simple. You've heard the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Well, this is the high-tech version of that. Instead of going all in with one cloud provider, like AWS, Google, or Azure, you cleverly use a mix of them. And you can really see the difference it makes right here. On the left, with a single cloud, if that provider has a bad day, and trust me, they all do eventually, your service goes down right along with them. It's a house of cards. But on the right, with a multi-cloud setup, if one provider goes dark, the others are right there, ready to pick up the slack instantly.
So you might be asking, okay, how does this actually work? How does the internet magically know to avoid the broken part? The secret sauce is a really powerful piece of technology that acts as the brain for the entire system.
Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a super intelligent air traffic controller, but for internet data. It's constantly watching all the airports, which, in this case, are the different cloud data centers around the world. If one of those airports suddenly closes for business, the controller doesn't panic. It just instantly and automatically reroutes all the data planes to the other airports that are still open. No drama, no delay. And this isn't some far-off theoretical concept. These are real, powerful tools that architects use every single day. You can see here, all the major cloud players offer their own version of this global traffic controller. Amazon's is called Route 53, Microsoft has Azure Traffic Manager, and Google offers its cloud load balancing service. So what makes these controllers so smart? Well, it comes down to a few key abilities. First, they're constantly running health checks. Think of these as tiny doctors, constantly checking the pulse of every server to make sure it's alive and well. They also use geo-aware routing, which means they know where you are in the world and can send your request to the data center that's physically closest to you, which makes everything way faster. And then there are advanced tricks like anycast routing, which is a really clever way of letting the network itself find the absolute fastest path for your data to take. Okay, that's enough theory. Let's get back to our e-commerce store and see how this system actually works when things go wrong. Let's walk through the anatomy of a failover. So here we are in step 1, normal operations. Everything is humming along perfectly. As you can see, shoppers in the US are getting sent to a server in Virginia, customers in Europe are hitting a server in Frankfurt, and users in Asia are connecting to one in Tokyo. It's all balanced, fast, and efficient. And then disaster strikes. Let's say a critical piece of network gear fails in that Virginia data center. But remember those constant health checks we just talked about? Within seconds, literally seconds, the global traffic controller realizes the US airport is offline. The alarm is raised, but it's all automatic. And here is the magic moment. The controller doesn't wait for an engineer to wake up and fix something. Instantly, it rewrites the rules. All the traffic that was supposed to go to Virginia is now intelligently and automatically sent to the next closest healthy locations, in this case, Frankfurt and Tokyo. So, what does our user who is about to click Buy Now actually experience? What's the impact? The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. To them, the page just loads. The transaction goes through. They have no idea that behind the scenes, a major piece of the internet just failed and recovered. The perceptible downtime for them is 0.
So why does all this complex behind-the-scenes tech matter to you?
Because it's literally the foundation of the fast, reliable internet that we've all come to totally take for granted.
So let's just recap the payoff here. With this kind of architecture, you get ultimate resilience. Your favorite services can survive huge outages. You get peak performance because you're always being sent to the fastest server for you. And most importantly, it creates this unwavering reliability for all the services you depend on every single day.
This invisible architecture is what keeps the internet running. It's what separates a tiny glitch from a catastrophic failure for the sites and apps you use all the time. But as our world gets even more complex and even more connected, it leaves you with one last, really important question. What happens when even this level of protection isn't enough?